I didn't own the toy. I didn't own it until I was like 14.
For me, the show ended on the biggest cliffhanger you could possibly imagine.
You really feel that he ate the whole plate.
And something clicked with me. I was like, I had fun doing that, right?
Afternoon all, and welcome to the 5th Chugcratic seminar. I join you live from the workshop of the School of Chugcratic as your Master of Design, Notchar. I am joined by the Master of the Arts, ID Armed.
Hello. Oh my. I can't stop thinking about the intro. Oh my god. Hi, everyone.
Our Scholar of the Ancient Texts, Runestone.
Howdy,
And
people.
of
How
course-
you all doing?
And of course, our student of Chugcratic himself, Kit Catastrophe.
Welcome, welcome. Happy to be here as always.
I have to say I'm pretty wowed by the new intro kit.
Thank you. Thank
Feels-
you. I put
feels-
my heart and soul into it.
It feels high class now. It feels like we've entered the next step of like the podcasting like iceberg or whatever. It's
I
crazy.
really like the quote you chose for me.
Thank you. Thank you. I made that at like 3:30 in the morning last night.
I don't remember what the context of that was.
Oh boy, well, we got some dead air here, so I guess I will introduce the topic of today's seminar. So, it's January, it's past Christmas, it's past New Year's, and we've all had the chance to finally reflect on the year and where we've been, how we've grown as people, and how we've grown our Transformers collections. So, everyone and their mother is doing a top 10 or top 24 or top 23, whatever list of best Transformers of the year. So we figure we jump on that little bandwagon, partially because I don't feel like making those videos anymore. So this would be pretty easy in comparison. We're doing our top 3 of 2023, as you probably noticed from the thumbnail and the title of this live stream. Anyone have anything to add? Don't talk all at once, of course.
Well, I mean,
What?
I don't know. This year
I-
I've kind of not bought much. I've been getting more picky and pickier as my journey in collecting has gone on. So
I must say I am exactly 1 year behind you in that regard. This year is going to be my picky year.
I gotta say for myself, I did buy most of what I wanted this year, but I was a lot more. I feel like I was a lot more patient this past year. I didn't do anything crazy stupid like order an entire wave basically within a week and get like really burnt out. I did that at like the end of 2022, the third wave of Legacy, and like yeah, that kind of burnt me, especially after like all the sales and stuff. It's like and I haven't done that again. So like this year, I think I felt way more in control of like what I've been buying and stuff. So I think it collecting wise overall it was definitely an improvement. I got a lot more out of collecting this year.
I think the sooner you realize that completionism is a meme, the sooner your collecting journey,
Oh yeah,
will
no.
improve.
I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I have like my own like private server that I just use as like kind of a log for like all kinds of stuff, right? And I've seen
ID scrolls.
and like I looked at like the list of figures I plan on getting, like old and new, and there's a lot of figures I just skipped out on last year. Like I skipped out on like the couple of G2 things I haven't gotten yet. I skipped out on like I think all the IDW pre-war stuff I wanted except for Nova Prime. And like I even skipped out on like SG Grimlock, which is like I don't really skip out on the SG stuff all too often, which is like all to say that like I'm a lot more willing to just wait on things now. Like, and I'm glad I didn't buy any of those things for full price. Maybe not SG Grimlock. He got kind of rare, it seems like. But yeah, I think if you take collecting more slowly, like I learned this year, it does end up being a lot more fun.
Yes, I've been thinking a lot about my collecting habits this past month or so, and it's just made me want to take things a lot more slowly and just be a lot more pick and choose about what I want. Like, for instance, wave 1 of Legacy, I want maybe 1 figure per size class, but probably not even that. I don't even know if I'm going to get Tigerhawk at this rate. I'm just going to stick with at least Tasmania Kid and Chase, and maybe that Optimus Prime, and I think I'll be happy.
I was going to say those are the ones you should probably get. Like, literally those free those.
I like the look of Chase as like a mold, but like Chase as Chase's design, I don't think isn't really. I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm probably gonna wait until whatever Chase is a pre-tool of becomes released, because that's what everyone's saying, that Chase is a pre-tool.
I got him in the past week, and I like him a lot. Not like absolutely like love him. He's like bordering on like a 7 out of 10, but like I'll take that over some of the really figures we kind of got from the deluxes and evolution. Like I'll say I'd rather have more. I'm totally okay with competent figures, you know? Like,
yeah, competency is definitely desirable.
Oh, absolutely. He feels like a more refined like Earthrise Sunstreaker. He like gives off like Carbot vibes, he's dull. He's a car.
No, I get what you're saying. Other than that, the only pickup from the current wave that I'm really considering is Core Megatron, just because Mid-Unicron trilogy.
I recommend him. He's like, again, he's kind of in the same boat as Chase, but like at the same time he gets like the added novelty of like he's just a little Energon Megatron, and like he even I don't know, I think coming with the Rumbler or not, the tank is like a really nice touch.
Remember the speculation that like core Energon Megatron was going to be like a core-sized black Armada Megatron.
Yeah,
I kind of wish that was real, because it would be interesting to have like the little black Megatron that he comes with has his own robot mode.
No, depending on if like core UT continues to be a thing, I could see it happening down the line. I'd buy it, like honestly. Because like even if that means it's not like 1-to-1 with the original, it's doing something new but also like fun. Like,
well, I think one of my favorite things from Chug that isn't really done anymore, but something I really liked about Chug, is how like you would get those reinterpretations of old ideas, like the small Megatron, the small tank that Megatron comes with, has a robot mode now, so it's its own guy and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like like taking like RTS Jazz, give him speakers that like he never had before, but makes sense. Or like taking Universe like Sunstreaker and Sideswipe, they are the same mold, they just transform differently to give off both their like respective looks. It's like reinventing like that are like totally cool, and I don't know. I think they should be more welcome. Or I feel like people are very welcome to them. It's just it doesn't happen as much as it used to.
Yeah, it seems like Hasbro has kind of got this like. I remember a post talking about how like Hasbro has like the Marvel Black Series mindset towards it, where like it's not so much about having interesting play features, and it's more about being a certain design, or a certain
that is the point
version of something.
That, like, being honest, that's like the point. But like I think I feel like we've had this discussion like a billion times already, on and off.
Oh, we have.
I feel like the people wouldn't nag Chug for like only being accurate to like existing stuff or pre-existing stuff if like there wasn't an equally competent toy line that does new stuff, but we don't really have that anymore. So
yeah, it's like Chug is basically mainline now.
Yeah. Although it shouldn't be. Well, I mean, it should have as much importance as the main line, but like it shouldn't be like the sole thing to keep most people interested.
I'm probably not much different in terms of my collecting habits for this year. I'll probably be very selective as well. I mean, from the first wave, I only plan on picking up Chase, Tigerhawk, and Tasmania Kid. With the core energy on Megatron, I'm holding off for Galvatron because, well, I like Galvatron's colors more. I know we haven't expressed, a lot of us haven't expressed very positive opinions towards Gamer Edition Starscream, but I'd probably pick up the mold as Skywarp because I generally like Skywarp's color scheme the best of all the Seekers. What else? Well, of course, any Beast Wars update that gets thrown my way, I'll buy it for sure. From Wave 2 of Legacy, from what we've seen of it so far, I'll definitely be picking up Silverbolt, possibly Gears, and I was going to pick up Sure Shot, although apparently he may not be happening anymore.
Yeah, no.
Damn shame. I don't really like how Gears looks, but if that rumor of the GoBot themed 3-pack is real, I might
It's real.
I might partake with that one.
Yeah, no, it's like JT dropped the listings. It's real.
I'll try out a Smallfoot, but I'm not very interested in Gears.
I'm with you. Like, he doesn't even look. I don't think he even looks bad. Like, the things that bother me are, I mean,
he looks bad for $25.
Fair. No, that's fair.
Wait,
that's
what
it.
is
If he
this?
was $20 or less, I wouldn't have a second thought.
So, I'm not a car guy.
$25. That's the only thing.
I'm not a car guy, so I don't know what the terminology is, but like the oh my gosh, his wheels, like the suspension's up too high, and the wheels, like there's like such a gap that like it genuinely bothers me a little bit, and I don't know how to explain it to people that it bothers me. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Honestly, Gears design. I don't really like Gears design in general. Personally, I don't think it's a very cool design. So I was lukewarm towards it to begin with, and the figure doesn't look that good. So yeah, that's an easy skip for me.
I mean, the stock photos don't. I mean, the stock photos don't necessarily do it any favors because someone didn't bother to straighten the bloody wheels out. But there we go.
Common Hasbro L.
Many such cases.
Sad.
Would you buy Swerve?
Maybe.
Depends on.
Would any of you buy Swerve? I mean,
it depends for me on if I can actually make Toys Trash Talk anytime soon, because that is the Swerve for me.
Yeah. I know Swerve from all the Meets the Eye comics. So it also depends on which version of Swerve it was.
Well, I haven't read more Meets yet. I just think that design's a good design compared to like the cartoon design. I wouldn't buy a Toyota cartoon Swerve, personally speaking. That too.
But inevitably, it probably would be a G1 style Swerve.
Because they already, with Thrilling 30, they took their pass at Comic Swerve. So I assume next time would be like the new one.
Yeah.
So if you'll forgive me for this, I'd like to stop beating around the bush and tackle our subject head on. What our method today will be. First, we're going to go over our honorable mentions, basically any toys that we think were notable enough to warrant speaking about, but not so notable that we would consider them our best purchases of the year. And then we will each go through our top 3 picks of the year, going third best, second best, first best. Each one of us will present their third best, then each one will present their second best, and so on and so forth. If y'all are ready to move on, I can switch the slide.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here are our honorable mentions. Who would like to go first?
I guess I'll take a crack at it.
Floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, so picking out like all this stuff. Also, as always, kids, great freaking photos, by the way. So,
thank you.
First one. Well, I'll start smallest to biggest. First honorable mention. It's kind of a whole group of figures. Is those the Rise of the Beast Battle Masters that they did. It was so nice to have Battle Masters back. I didn't know I wanted Battle Masters back that badly, right? But they this is like one of the few things, like if I'm being objective about Chug and whatever for a second, right? This is one of the few things where like I feel like there's genuinely been an upgrade in like everything, and it's only like a couple cents more than like an old Siege Battlemaster or Earthrise Battle. Like these things are way more complex. They have a lot more like involved transformations. They can pose better than a lot of those animal Battlemasters from War for Cybertron, and the weapon modes are all so much more unique because like I feel like except for the animal Battlemasters, you only got guns with like the War for Cybertron era Battlemasters. Here you get like a hand cannon, a Gatling gun, like just kind of your standard rifle with Skull Cruncher, a weird blade thing with Cheetor, a crossbow with Air Razor, or a shield bow gun thing, and like they all feel so fun. And plus, they've been such good repaint fodder. It just kind of it kind of crushes me that like that's it. We just got the 5 at retail, and that was it. I know there were some other ones. There were some other ones from like all the bigger figures, but like they didn't look as good. Like Chainclaw and Arrowstripe didn't really look as good as the retail ones.
I wholeheartedly agree with this sentiment, and like this is one of the few like subsets that I've actively gone to complete just because I wanted every single entry in their size class, and I even got Chainclaw and Arrowstripe and Sandspear to round out the whole set. Right. And every single one of them is so much fun.
Yeah, no,
this was the coolest thing in the entire Rise of the Beast toy line, which isn't saying a whole lot because it's tiny.
No, but like these are genuinely, I feel like compared to most of that line, like a shining like achievement.
Yes.
Like, because like I said again, compared them to like some of the not even some like almost all the Siege and Earthrise era Battlemasters, and like it's no competition. Like it's something that I think the teams genuinely learned from and like improved. And again, it's a shame only 5. I don't know what's really going to be happening with the TF1 toy line, but I really hope they'd have like some kind of Battlemaster thing. And then just looking at what else I had you put for honorable mentions last night.
Your Volcanicus is unfortunately hidden by the Duck StreamYard logo.
No, I can see it. But Volcanicus is not like perfect as a figure, but as a set of toys rather than like a set of collectible figures that you're supposed to like pose around. So they are really fun. They have their weird quirks and stuff, especially something like Sludge or Scar or Grimlock or whatnot, but I don't know. I'd be so down for more core class combiners over like redoing every combiner again. Like, I don't know, it's fun. I hope Dino King is a good enough retool. It's probably going to be, what am I saying? And I really got to actually finish that Snarl repaint so I can consider my Volcanicus combiner custom thing done. And then, just going to speed through these last 2. Animated Prowl, honestly, I was really tempted to actually like put him as one of my top picks, but being objective, the bike mode is but like, as a guy who grew up in animated but didn't really own many toys from that line, to like finally have an Animated Prowl that like poses like crazy and stuff and has like actual gimmicky shurikens, and like honestly, it made me so happy to get it. I get why people might not like it. I'm like, they're cool for like feeling that way, but like personally speaking, in the most subjective manner possible, I do love them. And then is not as good as Cyclonus. Like, if I'm being real, but like I'm just more impressed they got him out of Cyclonus. He's really I've been messing with him more lately. He's like genuinely like such a fun figure to just fiddle with, because like he's not as involved as like Cyclonus, but that makes him a little bit more fun in my eyes to just like pick him off the shelf and just like pose him and play with him and stuff. Honestly, yeah, such a good figure. I do need to go ahead and paint him up with the silver and gold at some point just to make him perfect in my eyes. But yeah, those were my honorable mentions. So, who wants to go next?
I'll take a crack. Shall I just do the ones that? Shall I just do the one that is that are like mine alone? Because I know me and Kit have some shared figures that we got this year that we have some things to say about.
I mean, you can talk about them if you want to. I ain't gonna stop you.
Well, I was just thinking I might like wait for you to bring them up in your bit, and then I'll chip in.
Oh, that works too. Go ahead.
All right, I'll just so I'll start with City Toys, whatever it is, TNT01. It's KO Iron Factory Jetfire. I got that as something for my birthday that I just got for myself, and it's very nice. I like it. It's basically everything you can expect from an OSKO. You know, obviously it didn't have to try very hard because it was copying from the Iron Factory design. But it's just a fun figure. I enjoy messing around with it. The plastic quality is pretty good for a KO. And it's the best way I can describe it is Classics Jetfire, but better. It's the cooler Classics Jetfire. Because it has all the same gimmicks and all the same sort of ideas from that toy.
I gotta say that's a really killer design for Jetfire. Like, also has the better kind of toy mask when it has the antenna. Very nice.
Yeah. And it has the shoulder guns from the Classics toy, which I really appreciate.
Oh yeah, I forget. Q1 Jetfire doesn't have shoulder cannons, and like neither does Siege or anything like that. It's a Classics thing, right?
Yeah. Though I could go into it, but like the original the original design of the VF1 with the super packs, there was actually a version that did have shoulder cannons, like the fucking Classics toy.
Oh, okay. I only know about the fast packs out of Transformer brain.
That's fair. So my other pick, for my other honorable mention that's just mine this year, was actually a pickup from TF Nation this year. It was Wrecker's Leadfoot, Siege or Legacy or whatever it was. I saw it at TF Nation the year before. I was like, nah, I don't want to get it because it comes with the fossilizer that I wasn't really interested in. I didn't want to have to pay double for it, and then
The fossilizer isn't even that good compared to Rack Tonight. It's a downgrade.
I kind of agree on the basis that like they botched the QC so badly on those two fossilizers that like it kind of it was actually genuinely kind of upsetting because like the idea of them were cool, but like execution wise in terms of like just QC was bleh.
Yeah, one of the pegs was so goddamn tight that I ended up sort of damaging the toy trying to get it unhooked.
For some reason, they painted the waist peg on Master Dominus, which is like, why would you like, why would you do that? Like, sorry for the taste, but like,
no problem. So I got so I was disappointed because I really liked Leadfoot, and I quite like a lot of the G2 designs. So when I found him in out of box at TF Nation the year after, I was quite happy. I got him for about £13, I think, which is pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. No, for an exclusive.
Yeah, that's a good deal for him.
The Master Dominus was missing parts, which is probably why it was discounted. But I didn't really care about Master Dominus anyway. I was only going for Leadfoot, and I really like the figure. It's Siege, Mirage.
Kingdom. It's Kingdom.
Pardon?
It's Kingdom Mirage.
It's Kingdom. Oh, right. Yes, it's Kingdom Mirage. Well, it's the same sort.
It's like half Siege Mirage. So like the
Kingdom Mirage mold is not the best mold in the world, but I just really like the colors. I really like the paint. I really like the all the decals, and the new head mold. I think it really makes the mold sing. And it was a fun figure just to fiddle around with. And I actually, at the second TF Nation, I basically took that figure around with me for the whole convention just to have a figure to fiddle around with. So I have some good memories with it.
That's nice. I always find it funny that every version of that mold that keeps coming out is like better than Mirage. I don't know. Mirage isn't actually bad, especially after you paint him a little bit. Like he needs something more, but like all the other ones completely work for me. Like it's weird how that works sometimes.
Yeah, and those were the only honorable mentions that were mine and mine alone. So I will bring it over to Kit now, if he's ready.
Oh, I was hoping to go last. Russo, would you like to take it away?
Yes. Firstly, am I actually clear right now through the microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Loud
good.
and crystal.
Oh, okay. We'll see how long that lasts. So, quickly going through my honorable mentions. Studio Series 86 Snarl is another solid addition to the leader class Dinobots, and we've only got one more to go now. I don't know if he's my favorite of the quartet release so far, but he's still really nice. Legacy Evolution Skyquake. He's the only Prime Universe character I've picked up from Legacy so far because I felt that he was honestly the best executed in terms of just capturing the essence of the Prime character himself. It also helps that for the most part he feels fairly robust and sturdy in hand. Save for some minor QC issues that Dreadwing apparently fixes, but I don't have Dreadwing. After so many years of getting Sound Blaster toys, it's nice that Twincast is finally getting some attention. Of course, it helps that the Kingdom Blaster mold rocks to begin with. Legacy Tarn, for a character we honestly never expect to get a toy whatsoever. He was executed. I think he was executed really well. Save for some minor gripes like the fists in tank mode. And I don't care what anyone else says. Gamer Edition Optimus Prime is the best of his subline so far. I gave him a glowing review on my channel towards the end of the year. Cheap plug. Yeah, I just find him to be a very enjoyable and playable figure with the whole weapon arm switch thing and the multiple configurations with the axe. One last figure, which isn't pictured, but I do want to mention anyway, is Select's Antagony. I'm just so happy that they're touching Beast Wars BotCon characters. I do wish her deco was executed a little less blandly, but I mean, it is accurate to the BotCon toy, and the inclusion of the scavenger head is just a really nice surprise. Really nice surprise. And that's where I'm at regarding honorable mentions. So if anyone else has anything to add regarding what I've just mentioned, feel free.
I don't think it's controversial at all to say that Optimus Prime is by and large the best figure out of the Gamer Edition assortment.
I was gonna say that's not a particularly high bar.
Yeah. I think I like Gamer Edition as a whole more than most, even though I'm still mostly negative about it. But Optimus is really the figure that I can't really complain too much about. He's great. His transformation is so much different from the original, and in a fresh way. It's cool to see them
no argument there
take a completely different course to get the same result.
It's so much more pleasant than the deluxe.
I love the original Deluxe's transformation, but I also really love this one. I just appreciate taking a similar shape and then doing a completely different way to get to the other shape than the other one, but they still look almost the same. I really love that.
Yeah.
Studio Series Snarl, haven't found him ever. Probably never will. Dreadwing, I've only seen once in person, but I agree with you on Skyquake. He's great. I would love to get Dreadwing, but
I'm still waiting for the Pulse repaint where they do him in the G2 colors.
Oh, me too.
I've been holding off on that mold until that happens, and eventually I'm just going to give up and paint it myself.
I would if they did G2 or G1.5 Skyquake and Machine Wars Starscream, I would gladly quadruple dip on this mold. King Atlas quintuple. I would own 5 of these. It's the mold is that cool. Twincast, I like him. I really do. I liked Blaster. I like Twincast. Tarn is also another figure I have literally never seen in person. He just never came out here.
I gotta say, the Blaster mold was really a standout mold for Kingdom, I think it was.
Yes.
Yep.
It was. I don't have Twin Cast, but I did have Blaster, and I very much like that mold. I think the eject that was included is a very cleverly designed figure as well. So yeah,
I don't know if this is a hot take about Eject Rewind. I kind of think it runs circles around the Rumble mold if we're not including like Rumble's accessories, just because it had ball jointed elbows.
I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think that's observable reality.
I have like no real reason to get it, but I am lightly interested in how that 86 blaster is going to look from Target, Target in US, because it's going to be a solid eject now. That's how they get you. Which is like, I feel like that's going to look pretty good, but we'll see.
As for my honorable mentions, if I had known Char was going to pick two of the same ones that I did, I would have included some such as Galaxy Force Vector Prime, the Japanese Galaxy Force figure, not the American one that was named Galaxy Force, who I have reviewed with Runestone, cheeky plug, part 2, and as well
already
as
on your channel, Kit.
Oh. Well, I gotta get those numbers of people who watch other videos of mine. I also probably would have picked Legacy Knockout, who I got for cheap. If I got him full price, he wouldn't be on here, but I got him for cheap, and I really love his vehicle mode. He is so much better than Studio Series Jazz. I really enjoy Knockout. But so far, I've only put Energon Shock Blast, who I got in the same convention hall as Vector Prime. I got him from the same vendor at GeekCon in Shreveport, and
I really like Energon Shock Blast.
Yeah, he's a fantastic looking figure. He's so interesting.
And he did the ROTF Soundwave thing before it was cool.
yes, he did.
The more friends of mine that get Energon Shock Blast like year after year, the more I need to find it. I gotta find it at TFCon in March.
You do. Mine has a slight QC issue where one of the solar panels just kind of pops off whenever you arm the gun. Can't really do a whole lot about that, but
I assume they're friction pegged, right?
Yeah, I could probably just glue it in, but I don't really mind. But moving on, I wanted to avoid adding third-party figures to my top 3 just because I felt like it would be cheating, and it would we didn't make a rule that you couldn't put third-party figures in your top 3. I just didn't, and everyone else followed suit. Just because I felt like it would crowd out my list because we only have 3 spots. So I just wanted to save them for the honorable mentions. I got Toys Easy Gustav, who I've sung his praises before on this show. And I got Mechanical Skull Studios Sirius, who I am currently working on a review of.
We're so
right now. I'm about halfway done with the script. So
you finished, Kit.
Well, Char, it's kind of prudent that you interrupt because you'll also be interrupting the review when it comes out.
Yes, I will be having my debut on Kit Catastrophe Reviews in the next episode, so look out for that.
Sort of a quasi-collab situation here.
Yeah, and it's also sort of pertinent because I bought Sirius because of you, and you bought Gustav because of me.
Yes, this is true. But I did end up getting Gustav before you.
Yes, but that's because I live across the pond from where they deliver them.
You also saved it for Christmas.
I did also do that.
So why don't you? Since I'll be talking about my thoughts on Sirius before the end of the month, in detail, and I've already sung Gustav's praises. Why don't you tell us what you think about these?
So, I really like Gustav from the perspective of a military nerd, just because you can really tell that whoever designed it thinks that has an interest in the subject matter. They did when you fiddle with the figure, when you look at it and when you have it in your hands, you notice the thing is just bristling with all these decals and all these little details that they didn't need to add. All these little like designations and warning markings and little bits of writing on it. And it shows that there's a lot of quality in the figure. And on top of that, when I was transforming it for the first time, it contained a lot of moments and we go, oh, that's clever. Oh, like it works with its mass very well. It's able to make itself into shapes that like you wouldn't expect it to be able to do. And it's kind of funny for what would be outwardly a quite simple transformation, because it basically just lies down and stretches out, but it does it in a very clever way. And then Sirius I got because of Kit, and it's a very cool toy. I like it. I collect third-party Legend scale anyway, and this figure it's a very good example of it. It knows that it's a certain scale, and it works with it. It makes concessions that mean that it's very solid. You don't feel like you don't feel like you need to get out a pair of tweezers to play with this toy, which is a problem with like a few Legend scale figures. Is that there are a lot of panels that will like make sense on a masterpiece scale toy or even a Chug scale toy. When you put them down to Legend scale, it's too much. But this figure, it's not simple, but it's straightforward, and in a very pleasurable way. And it's on top of that, it's just like, and it's a nice figure. It incorporates a ab crunch into it, which is quite impressive for a toy that has this solid block going through it that it needs to incorporate. The only thing I think it was missing was a tiny swerve in robot mode, because it comes with a tiny swerve in vehicle mode, but it doesn't transform. But it does have rolling wheels, which is insane. At such a small scale, it has rolling wheels.
Quick question, because I don't own the figure. I actually haven't even seen any reviews. Does it do like? I'm just curious. I know what the answer probably is. Does it do that thing the old RPM figures from like Revenge of the Fallen do, where the robot mode's like underneath the car, or is it literally just the car?
It's literally just the car.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping you'd like look under and it's like a little tiny sculpted in Swindle robot mode or something dumb like that.
No, because like it's flat to the ground because it's like because it's designed after an F1 car, and that's how F1 cars are.
Okay.
So it's just it's just flat on the bottom. But you could maybe expect some sort of something from me in the future, making a design, because that is something I would like to do, is make a little swerve robot mode to print out and have alongside Sirius, just so he can have his little buddy with him,
Yeah, no, overall the figure does look really nice.
I'm really excited. To see what this company does in the future. If they do the rest of the Armada crew, then I will likely be buying all of them. If they are the same quality of if they are up to the same standard as Sirius, I will be buying all of them. Except maybe Sideswipe, because I don't think there's any saving that design.
If I may, a couple quick things about, because I didn't comment on them. A couple quick things about other people's honorable mentions. ID, was it you who picked Prowl and Metal Hawk?
Yes.
Yeah, with Legacy Prowl, because I have that one too, and I do agree that the bike mode is a little rough, and I think a part of that is because of the leg transformation. Because on the original, the legs fold up in such a way that everything is properly concealed and the bike looks relatively clean and convincing as a result. Whereas with the new one, I think the legs fold up, but the thighs are still visible. So it's a little more distracting
Oh yeah.
than the old one. And as for Metal Hawk, as much as I love the Cyclonus mold, I just don't think Metal Hawk was executed as well as he could have been, because it might just be me, but the Metal Hawk's jet mode, the body seems a bit too wide, or the wings are a bit too small. And also for a character named Metal Hawk, I could do with some more. I could do with some metallic gold paint on the body instead of flat gold plastic. But hey, as long as it's not another type of gold plastic, I guess we'll all be fine.
I guess speaking as like the guy who like really is really into painting and stuff, it's a shame because like I don't think anyone was expecting like full blast like silver and gold chrome, right? But I know I believe like all those gray and gold parts, well, faux gold parts, they're ABS. They're not like the unpaintable plastics, and I know that because Kingdom Cyclonus' fives were painted for some reason. So like yeah, I kind of wish they just hit them with like some gold and silver. That would have just helped them pop so much more.
They should have called him Caramel Hawk instead of Metal Hawk.
Yeah, I just don't know what other color they could have picked, you know. So I guess that's like the best thing they could have done, but I don't know. I still plan on painting it up at some point. So are you guys feeling ready to move on to our actual picks?
Unless anyone has anything else to say, I'm ready.
Also, the Starscream's minicon is a swindle, not swerve.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I get those names mixed up in my head all the time. Sorry.
Don't worry. Don't worry. The Armada cartoon did plenty of that. I don't think you're alone on that one.
Okay.
Today I learned there's no minicon named Swerve. I thought there would have been a minicon named Swerve. Like, no.
No, but there was a Blur repaint named Swerve.
There was?
Yeah, in
Really?
Universe.
Oh yeah, this guy. I forget this guy exists. Oh my. With Road Handler, and then there's also the Swerve from Cybertron. That is probably more recognizable. I'm not sure which of the two random repaints is more well known. Probably neither.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't actually think of this figure, but yeah, you're right. Man, I need to get like another Armada, a version of Armada's Blur, because the one I had as a kid broke, unfortunately. And it broke in a really weird way, where like the torso basically sheared from the body. I have no clue why. Maybe it's like, I don't know.
Skill issue, obviously.
Apparently.
So, shall we move on to our top 3 picks?
I'm ready.
All right. So, Runestone was kind enough to organize the PowerPoint for us. So, we'll be starting with our third favorite pick, and it'll go me, Armed, Shar, and Rune in that order. So, starting with my third favorite pick of the year, it'll have to be Studio Series Hot Rod. This was the first figure I bought after I moved into my current place, and it is simply phenomenal. It is by far the single greatest deluxe carbot ever in Studio Series. The transformation is it's mind-blowing. The alternate mode is super clean, and the robot mode looks great. Say what you will about the design, I don't mind it so much. It's for a character who left so little of an impact on Transformers as a whole. He's received such a phenomenal figure, and it has to go on this list.
That's like, I don't own this figure. Never handled it. Really should change that one day. But no, that's kind of the MO. Like everyone says, it's apparently a terrific figure, and I'll take everyone's word for it. God, I really do get it.
The thing stopping me from buying this figure is that I've never liked movie Hot Rod's head. It doesn't look right. It's like Bumblebee's head, but like the eyes are halfway down the face.
I feel like the same way, but I think this toy makes me appreciate it a little bit more. Probably because, SS figures, they can't get all the paint. Or, they also can't get all the details, just, straight up, let's be real. It simplifies the face just enough where I can actually, discern what is what now. And I kind of, dig it for that.
Oh, and I think the greatest triumph of this figure is that it really does not fall into the trap that so many other Carbots do of just putting everything in the backpack. Like Lockdown had that clamshell. Mirage is just Kibble City.
Dropkick Bumblebee Dropkick has that exact issue where the front of the car is the chest, and then nothing else is the vehicle.
Honestly, I think Dropkick is one of the more successful Carbots. If anything, that just shows how bad things are. But Hot Rod is just super clean. Like the only thing on his back is the roof and the little door wings. Everything else, well, I mean, I think part of the rear window goes in there too, but everything else integrates astoundingly cleanly. It's like third-party levels of engineering on this toy.
And I got a stack car mode. I swoon for that car mode. It's so good, except for no painted rims. But it's silver. Just slap some silver and you're good.
I think that's accurate. I'm pretty sure the real car has black rims.
I'm gonna double check this in the background right now.
I'm just glad that history didn't repeat itself, and thankfully this isn't just a Studio Series Lockdown retool.
Oh yeah.
If nothing, I mean, I do have the figure myself. I can't really disagree with you on it, Kit. And if nothing else, he's certainly better than his wave mate. I'll say that much.
Who, Crosshairs?
Yes, Crosshairs.
I got Crosshairs at the exact same time, and if Hot Rod didn't exist, I would think Crosshairs was actually great. But compared to Hot Rod, Crosshairs does have a lot to be desired. I think he's probably one of the more successful takes on the Crosshairs design, but I also understand the many problems with that mold.
Crosshairs has no substantial body. Half of his body is shaved off to make way for that bloody trench coat.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Is he, do you find him to be better than Studio Series 86 Hot Rod?
Well, that's kind of a tough question, considering it's kind of apples to oranges. They're doing some completely different things. But as a purely, if you're asking me which one is more satisfying and which one is more gratifying mentally, it would have to be this one. It's just more fun, more exciting. 86 Hot Rod's fine. But he's no longer my favorite Hot Rod in my collection, even G1 Hot Rod wise. I recently, this year, I got the Legends Hot Rodimus, and that's become my new favorite G1 Hot Rod.
Really?
Yeah.
LG,
I really
like the one that comes with Firebolt?
Yeah. Yeah, the Titans Return retool. I really enjoy that figure.
You know what? But it's a bit simple, but man, it's pretty toyetic. I mean, all TR toys were. Plus, I genuinely want to get it because the Firebolt obviously looks better than Fire Drive from Siege.
He is better.
Oh yeah, those LG Target Masters are just. Whew.
But yeah, I guess my thesis on this sort of thing is that it's sort of a blessing in disguise that many of the Bayformers designs don't really resemble their G1 counterparts, because it allows their toys to stand on their own 2 feet a whole lot more easily when they're good.
Yeah, that's something I noticed. Is I initially skipped on Bumblebee Optimus because it's like, this is just G1 Optimus. I already have a G1 Optimus. Why would I want another one? You know.
Yeah.
And then I got a KO Black repaint. I was like, yeah, this is different enough.
That's really all I have to say about Hot Rod. Next it would be ID Arm's turn. Are you ready? He's currently muted. Let's think of some
Better
more
than
things
World
to talk
War
about.
II
Hot Rod.
hot rod. I just want to quickly get that in there.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh god, the fucking World War II figures were such a disappointment for me.
Yep. World War II Bumblebee was one of the only Studio Series figures I sold. It was so bad.
Man,
I did like I
piece
did like
of
the thing
shit.
going on with the lower legs though. That was pretty cool. I hope that
It's-
sort of thing comes back.
It's really annoying because from the concept art, it's very easy to tell that World War II Hot Rod was supposed to be a Sherman tank.
Yeah.
It's like, God, that would have been cool.
Honestly, if
Well, you know, they could be doing. I mean, they're doing concept art figures now, so we might get that anyway.
They've
I
already
mean,
done
again,
the World War II characters though, so it would be like, I don't know.
I would
SF
love
maybe-
to
That's wishful thinking.
I would love to see a Studio Series Bulldog. That would be pretty cool.
Would be. I imagine they would screw up the Mark 1 tank, or was it the Mark 5? Whatever. They would screw up the tank mode royally, though. They'd make him a Churchill or something. They'd make him like a completely different tank that probably doesn't even exist.
All right, ID Armed, are you ready to
Yes.
show off your third favorite pick?
I am.
All right.
So this one's I can't say it's a random pick. I feel like it's on brand for me. So Legacy Tarn, I think it's a pretty good figure, right? I have my issues with it, mainly like, really, you have a Voyager class tank with no wheels, right? Like, that's like ludicrous. But like, I still like it for what it is. It definitely feels more like figure than Transformer, but that's probably just because of what the alt mode was in the first place, you know? But
Yeah.
overall, I liked them. But then Tarn came out, and honestly, I won't like when he was revealed. I kind of felt squeamish about getting him in the first place. But then I decided to. I believe I just pre-ordered him. I don't know. Yeah, I just pre-ordered him. I didn't get him in store. I think. And then I don't know what happened, but like something clicked, and he's like he easily outclasses Tarn as like. That's the definitive version of the mold, not Tarn, but the late wave repaint. He's so good. It's just a new head and sword. Nothing else was changed at all, aside from, Deco and stuff. But he just wears the mold so much better, and like, he's so fun to just fiddle with and pose and stuff. He's just kind of one of my desk figures when I'm painting. He doesn't really have a proper place in my collection per se, so he hangs out on my workshop bench when I'm working on repaints and stuff, and I fiddle with him and stuff. He's so fun. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Again, it's kind of weird because it skews more towards loving the robot mode as opposed to the alt mode. But like, still, if I had to sell like a lot of my collection, which isn't happening anytime soon, like right. But if I had to, I'm selling Tarn like in a heartbeat, and I'm keeping Bludgeon, like no questions asked.
So this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to represent the version of Bludgeon from IDW's 2019 comics continuity. Because I mean, I only bring this up because if I may drop a bit of news, one of the listings reveals basically a Mayhem Attack Squad subline. And I only bring it up because Bludgeon actually in the 2019 continuity actually isn't part of the squad lineup, meaning that but he is one of the listed figures for that capsule, and that could only possibly mean that he'll be painted in his Marvel comic colors, like with more yellow and orange than green, and I just wonder how that would look, how well that would translate on this particular mold. Oh, ID's dropped out.
ID has just disappeared.
Yes, in the chat he said, "Hey, I gotta leave early." So
Okay.
I guess for the I'm assuming he's not coming back for the rest of it, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about his other two picks when we get around to them.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I initially skipped this. I skipped Tarn because I don't know. I'm not like Tarn's robot mode is cool, but like I've always had the problem with it where like with a lot of IDW designs, the vehicle mode is kind of nothingy, and so
Yes.
I skipped Tarn, and I skipped Bludgeon as well. But ID's kind of sold me on it because initially I didn't bother with it because for me in my collection that my main bludgeon is RTF bludgeon because it's still such a good toy in my opinion, even if it
Yeah.
has its issues.
So I was avoiding Bludgeon for the longest time. I wanted Tarn, but I eventually stopped wanting Tarn, and I never really wanted Bludgeon. But this guy on my server named Garrett, he's been enabling me on a lot of figures. It started with Needle Nose, it went on to Knockout, and it culminated with Bludgeon. And I have to say I do like him, but like ID Armed alluded to, I think he's a better action figure than he is a Transformer.
You know what? I think that sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, because he's a phenomenal action figure. He's amazingly posable. He has that cool sword, cool accessories, but I mean, everything is in service of the robot mode, and there's really the vehicle mode is just half baked. I still have a positive opinion of the toy, but that positive opinion does not come from the vehicle mode or the transformation. Well, except for one step of the transformation where the treads sort of like spiral, like spin around in a cool way. I did like that, but that's about it.
I mean, I think it's just a case of like, what could the designers do?
Yes. If that's everything, then I guess it's on to your third favorite pick, Shar.
Yep. So I did break the rule. I put a third-party figure on my list, Sumi. This is Iron Factory, name I've forgotten, but we all know it's Lockdown. It's IDW Lockdown. And I'll be honest, I didn't buy it because I know Lockdown, because I know about Lockdown from the comics or whatever. Because I don't. I bought this because I really like Iron Factory's designs, and this figure is just really cool. It's well articulated. It's got a cool design, and the transformation is honestly pretty clever. It kind of transforms the same way that that the original animated toy did, where the legs become the sides of the car, and the torso just kind of folds up between them. It does that in what I consider to be quite an interesting way. Yeah, I just think it's really cool. I think the alt mode is very interesting for a car bot because it has like the Oni headlights, and it's got this sort of like muscle car limousine gothic aesthetic that I really like.
Bowser from Mario Kart.
You know what? You're right. It does look like that. It looks like the car Bowser would drive. I can't believe I didn't see that before.
I like how the hood forms a big loincloth.
Yeah, because this was like one of the first figures from when Iron Factory started doing their whole samurai subline. But it kind of works as both because it comes with like a little hat that you can remove, and like a big samurai sword along with the axe. I just like to use the axe. Not the axe, the hook. I just like to use the hook. I think the hook looks cool, and it comes with like a chain piece. So you can sort of you can pose him in a sort of Mortal Kombat style pose where he's throwing the chain, in a sort of get over here type thing.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool pick. if I had to change anything about it, I would like to see all those spikes picked out in silver or something. That would look amazing. I didn't really notice that the headlights looked like little Oni heads until you pointed it out, and now it's just so obvious. But that's such a clever design cue. I like that.
Yeah, it really is.
Runestone, do you have anything to add on third-party Samurai Lockdown?
Nope. As I'm not the most experienced in the third party. I mean, it is a cool looking figure, but it's probably not one I'm going to pick up anytime soon.
That's fair enough. If that's everything, we can move on to your favorite, third favorite pick.
Okay, then. So my third favorite purchase for 2023 is
fucking jealous.
My third favorite purchase for 2023 is the Rise of the Beast Core Series Deluxe Class Eraser. And I know some might find it a bit odd that I put this above a number of my honorable mentions, but I got to say that for what she is, you know, for the line that she's a part of, this figure aims for the sky. In many ways, this figure feels like what would happen if they released a live-action movie character in Legacy, because it's fairly simple in design compared to like something from Studio Series, and that robot mode face is it's much more humanoid looking than what you see from the Bayverse and the Bumblebee movie designs. The bird mode itself ranks up there with Energon Dive Bomb as one of the best I've seen. A clean, sleek profile complemented by a powerful wingspan. And of course, this figure has a similar transformation to Dive Bomb. And if it wasn't clear by now, I love the transformation, the whole wings into legs shtick. I really like it when they do that. And since the bird mode legs form the robot mode arms, that means there's no extra limbs hanging off like there was with Dive Bomb. The articulation, she has plenty of it. I mean, that maybe there are one or two joints that she could have, but I think she's got enough. And like the deco, I want to say, leans more towards the Beast Wars basic, the original Beast Wars basic class Air Razor figure. And yeah, like and the weapons, you know, they're nothing fancy, those twin swords, but they just work for her, and that's all that needs to be said. Just so you know, I don't currently own every Studio Series Studio Series Maximal thus far, but if any Maximal in the Rise of the Beast mainline outclasses its Studio Series counterpart, it's Air Razor, by and large, and that's why she soars her way into the number 3 spot for me. So does anyone have anything else to add?
Yes, I am currently 50 kilometers away from your location. I'm going to steal it.
Good luck.
But yeah, this figure has been on my wants list ever since the first leaks of it dropped. Back when we didn't even know what the whole toy line situation was going to be for Rise of the Beasts. This was the first figure we saw, and it honestly blew me away. Like you said, it's very reminiscent of Energon Dive Bomb, which is one of my favorite scout-sized figures of all time. And Air Razor is one of my favorite characters of all time because she turns into a bird, and I like that. And,
big surprise.
And I've never once spotted it anywhere. My targets never got the second buzzworthy 3-pack. They barely got the last buzzworthy 4-pack. The words escape. The Troop Builder set. They've only barely gotten that. And the first Rise of the Beast 3-pack kind of shell-formed a little bit, so I guess they just weren't too keen on buying the second one. So no Air Razor for me. I'm going to try to have someone look out for a copy of this at the next TF Con that I can buy from them. It's just a fantastic looking figure, and I need one. But as for your point about studios, if there are any Maximals in the main line that outclass their Studio Series counterparts, I would like to add Rhinox to that list. He looks like crap, but he transforms so freaking well, and I like Rhinox. That's all I have to say.
Well, I mean,
that.
like if I had to pick one, it would be Airazor, and I do want to point out that the transformation. If I do want to point out that the transformation doesn't compromise the figure at all, the way I see it, because the wings can still hinge up and down, like they function on two hinges, and then they essentially split with the feathers folding up to form the feet, and then everything swivels into place. It like. You say it's a fantastic figure, and you are dead on, Kit. You're dead on. You will not be well, the way I see it, you won't be disappointed if you manage to pick this up in the near future.
God, I hope.
All I want to say about this figure is I'm not really a beast guy, but I will say the transformation, the transformation of having the legs into the arms is really clever, in my opinion, and it works out really well for the figure. And as Rune said, it ends up with a very kibble-free bird mode, which I appreciate.
Well, yeah, I mean other than the wings, but even then they accentuate the look of the mode. So can they really be even called kibble at this point?
I mean, only if you call Starscream's wings kibble.
Fair enough.
If that's all we have to say, we should move on to our second favorite picks. Mine is technically not a purchase that I made. It was a gift. It is animated Cybertron mode Optimus Prime. I got this as a Christmas present from my girlfriend, and it is simply sublime. It is the figure from animated that I wanted the most, besides maybe Shockwave or something, or Blur, or someone like that. But the alternate mode is so cool. The styling is so cool. The robot mode is just as animated as you could ever ask for, and the transformation, by God, completely integrated weapon storage. What you see is how they come out. I fucking love that. I love it. It's honestly a crime that this was a Wave 1 figure, because if I was keeping up with animated at the time it was coming out, it would have set the bar impossibly high. And I know animated is a great line full of great toys, but this one stands above all of them still. It's simply fantastic.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I reviewed this way back when, and like something that's been pointed out in regards to that, like you sort of touched on just now, the whole transformation weapon storage. It has one of the best, one of the coolest design choices I've ever encountered, and I didn't even think of it at the time, but the axe stores in what becomes his robot mode fists, and because of how the figure transforms, you can actually sort of simulate the motion of his arms coming forward whilst double holding his axe.
Yeah, he swings his axe as he transforms, and the shield ends up on his arm too.
It's fucking fantastic.
It's if I was a stop motionist, this would be the perfect figure, because it's built for a dynamic, playful transformation. It's honestly a crime. It's simply criminal that Hasbro has never made a figure with as clever and fun weapon storage as this one.
The only thing I will say about the only problem I have is that long after I did the review, the axe head is unfortunately made of translucent plastic, and unfortunately mine cracked a little bit.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's all I can say is be wary of that happening to your copy, Kit. But other than that, I think at the time like when I've been re-ranking my figures, I re-ranked this one gold, and honestly, after this discussion, I'm thinking even that's too low.
Yeah, as far as everything this toy set out to do, it's done everything flawlessly with flying colors. It is honestly probably as close to a perfect transformer as you could get. And it was wave 1. Just having this in my collection has filled a very, very big hole in it, and it makes me happy. That's about all I have to say. Shar, what do you think of this mold? Are you based in Archer Pilled?
I am the most Archer Pilled person here. But I do not own this toy, so I can't really comment that much. You guys seem to really like it, so maybe I'll hunt it. So I might hunt it down now. What I can say is I have a very specific memory of seeing this figure in a catalog when I was younger and thinking it looked cool. So that's all I can really say about it. And I like how the front wheels end up in the shoulders. That's a cool design.
Yeah, it's amazing. I wonder if the War for Cybertron game was inspired by this any, but they had probably been working on that art for a couple of years at that point. Maybe there's been some cross-pollination, but at the same time, shoulder wheels are just cool as hell.
I always like it when like the wheels are integrated into the robot mode, not just hanging off the sides. I always appreciate that.
Agreed. That's the one thing I liked about those World War II Studio Series figures.
Also, War for Cybertron Optimus Prime's shoulder wheels are probably inspired by, if anything, War Within Optimus Prime shoulder wheels from the. What was it?
Oh yes, that makes sense. And then this could have also been inspired by it as well.
Probably, maybe.
Just a bit, as a treat.
Yeah.
Well, ID Armed is not with us anymore, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about his second favorite pick, VNR Volvo Optimus Prime, which is a figure I do not believe any of us have.
No, but I want it when it goes on sale. If I ever find this figure on sale, I'm going to buy it. And the reason I will only buy it on sale is because I only want 2/3 of the figure. I don't want the bloody trailer.
If I got the trailer, I would just probably put it with my Earthrise Netflix Prime.
Same.
Even though the reason I got that figure is because it didn't come with a trailer.
Yeah, honestly, same. But if I really want to buy this mainly to make a Sure Shot repaint of it.
That would be
Sure Shot / Hero Optimus.
Looking at this toy, it's very, very cool. I like the idea of just having them turn into random real-world vehicles, but I personally think that this isn't what I would have wanted.
The truck doesn't scream Optimus Prime to me.
It's not the truck mode that's the problem. I love the truck mode. It's just that the robot mode is 2G1. You know, he has the Peterbilt chest. He has just basic block arms when, you know, the truck is a little curvier. And look at all of that leg kibble. They could have done something with that. I would have loved to see a bit more Volvo in the Volvo Optimus Prime robot mode, you know, instead of just him being G1 Optimus from the knee up and having Volvo boots, you know. I do like what they did with the rear 4 tires just being up against his back. That's a really nice look for him. But otherwise, it would leave a lot for me to be desired.
I totally agree. I think it would have been cooler if they used the opportunity at least to have given him some like different detailing on the torso. You know, something interesting, but you know, I kind of understand probably when the deal was being drawn up for this figure, The Volvo people wanted the Optimus Prime brand to be associated with the Volvo, and the Peterbilt chest is part of Optimus Prime's brand, so it's probably something to do with that. If I had to
Still,
guess,
they could have at least like sculpted the Volvo like band across his tummy grill, something like that, just to have it more connected to the top half of the robot mode.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of prefer that it's just a G1 Optimus Prime torso, because at least that way I can justify it in my head that, no, that's not the front of the truck, that's just Optimus Prime's chest, instead of it being a fake part type thing, which always frustrates me. You know what I mean?
I guess. I don't necessarily agree.
Like the window tits are just Optimus Prime's chest. It's not supposed to be the front of the truck. It's just that's what Optimus Prime's chest looks like. I know that's a weird way to justify it, but it's just I don't like fake.
It sounds like cope to me.
It is cope, but also some of my favorite Optimus Primes do that, like Laser Optimus Prime and Hero
True.
Optimus Prime.
True.
And yeah, like that has been done before, so there's precedent.
Runestone, what do you think?
I got nothing because I don't own this figure. So instead, I'm like, hi guys, I'm here, the ultimate Chugmeister. I wonder who I can custom this figure into. Sorry, just being silly for a moment. But yeah,
Oh my God, he's back!
like I honestly thought that this would be a better combat. Is it Combat Hero Optimus Prime?
Yeah, it's Combat Hero Optimus Prime / Short Shot.
Or because also there was for 2001's Robots in Disguise, technically, Destructicon Scourge.
Yeah, that would make a good. Yeah, that would work too. Destructicon Scourge. Man, I really want to get Destructicon Scourge, because that would complete my Scourge collection. I would have all the Scourges.
Well,
all
I'm
three
just
of
glad
them.
I was able to get Runestone's quote for the next opening.
Oh yeah, I'm only gonna buy certain figures this year. Buys half the wave. Classic ID moment.
Because like it's one of those cases where it's a nice looking figure, but I just don't have any real interest in it. And
Yeah.
you know, I can't really disagree with the whole points about them trying to stick too close to the G1 aesthetic instead of just doing their own thing. They always go with the cab winners for the chest, probably because it's just so iconic of Prime, and it simulates the whole bodybuilder chest thing.
I think part of the problem is like there's like Optimus Prime the Transformer, and then there's Optimus Prime the pop
man.
culture. Optimus Prime the pop culture, thing. Because most people who know Optimus Prime are like normies, and when they think of Optimus Prime, they think of the Peterbilt chest. Like, so,
Yeah. It's a necessary evil, but I am arguing as to how necessary that evil is.
Maybe when we get like slightly less, super icon characters, we can get like more integrated robot modes that aren't just, oh, we took the G1 robot mode and we put it on a different vehicle. I would like that.
Are there any accessories inside that trailer, like a roller?
There's no roller. I think there's like is the little drone in there?
I'm going to go check TF Wiki. You two talk it out.
This did this start? Was this the one that started out as that planned Amazon Prime or something?
So I think so. Yeah, this was the figure that started out as quote unquote Amazon Prime. Then it was an Amazon exclusive Holiday Prime, but the trailer is from Earthrise Prime. It's just a transplant from that figure.
Okay, I looked it up, and he's literally just missing roller. Like it's identical to the Earthrise release, except in like paint maybe, But there's no roller.
Wait, Earthrise has roller?
Yeah, I thought he
I didn't
did.
realize that.
Wasn't
I could've
he?
s-
Was
I could have sworn
wasn't
he
he
did.
part of that Centurion accessory pack or something?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
I think he was.
yes. This is what I get for avoiding the trailer. Okay, then it's just identical to Earthrise then.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that when Studio Series 86 Optimus comes out, it won't just be the fucking Earthrise trailer again.
It would be so fucking funny though.
It
It would be
would.
so fucking
It
funny.
would. It can't though. Surely.
You know what else will be funny?
What?
Definitely not Char's second favorite purchase of 2023.
Oh.
Oh, it's another Optimus.
It's the other. I mean, I am the most Archer-pilled person here, and even at that, I can say, in some ways, this toy is better than the original. In some ways, I think the core robot. They absolutely nailed the core robot. You know, it looks like the animation model jumped off the screen, and but it still has all of that sort of surface detailing that you would expect from an Armada figure. It feels really nice in the hand. It's really easy to pose and get into a cool pose. They even worked in an ab crunch, into it. And of course, the ab crunch is part of the transformation. So I don't know if I'm assuming the ab crunch is just a byproduct of the transformation, to be honest. But it's still cool that it's there. And, it's one of those, it's one of the first Commander class figures that, in my opinion, really felt like it was worth I think it was £100 I spent on it. This was another pickup from TF Nation, by the way. The only thing I'm sort of not in love with is I think the super mode could be better. Maybe it's just my expectations, but I feel like the torso is too blocky. It's basically just a wall of robot, and and I always imagined the way that the way that he transformed, he'd have the sides of the trailer sort of become a big trench coat type thing, and I was a little disappointed they didn't do that, but I guess that's how he was in the show, so whatever. Yeah. Also, I think just one more thing, the head sculpt is kind of weird. It reminds me of the Thing. The super mode head sculpt reminds me of the Thing from the Fantastic Four with the unibrow.
Oh yes, capital T Thing. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, this is a figure I also have, but I couldn't help but feel a little let down by it, and I can't really place why. It just the inner robot, I agree, is the best part of the entire package, but his truck mode just feels really, really off to me. Like the proportions just feel wrong in every single direction. He feels too big, and he especially feels too big. Like the torso feels way too big in combined mode.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And the trailer just doesn't really do it for me that much, and I don't really know what I would want it to do. It just doesn't work for me, but I can't articulate how it could have made me happy.
I sort of get what you're saying. Yeah.
I think it boils down to, it just kind of feels like a paint by numbers Armada Optimus. It's exactly what an Armada Optimus should be, and I don't know, it just makes me want a regular Armada Optimus from eBay.
Hope you have your house insured then.
I'll take the batteries out.
Really? Maybe it's just because I got mine. Maybe it's just because I got mine piecemeal because I bought the torso and the trailer separately, but it wasn't that expensive for me.
No, he meant because it tried to burn down Bald
Oh, right,
Matrix's
of course, yes. Keep forgetting about that. Probably because I took the batteries out of mine for obvious
probably.
reasons.
This is a figure that I currently don't own, although I do own actually the Supercon Deluxe Optimus Prime, the one that comes with Overrun. But as for this, I mean, by all accounts, it does to be a successful take on the Armada Optimus design, and unlike a Legacy Evolution Armada Megatron, it does have quite a bit more playability to it in and of itself. And I mean, it doesn't come with a minicon, but the trailer still opens up into a supposed base. All its modes look fairly well done. The super mode can actually pose its legs, and well, I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but I'd be interested in seeing this in Power Link's colors, just as we're getting a Galvatron in United. Maybe we'd get this in Selects or wherever Generations goes after Legacy.
I expect the Super Link colors will either be released as like a Pulse exclusive, or it will be released again. It will be released alongside the inevitable Jetfire and Overload. I say inevitable.
So you think they'll do those two?
I hope so. I expect so, because like the way it's built, it is designed in a way to specifically to allow those figures to connect with it. It has that port for Overload on the back, and I know that's it goes with the original toy, but it also seems to me like they are planning in advance for having figures that it can combine with.
And the thing is, unlike a brand new figure, would have no choice but to come with his minicon, since his minicon forms the carrier truck, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. That is one thing I thought of. One thing to go on a tangent a little bit before we move on. One thing I thought of as a way you could do Overload and Jetfire to make them work is you could make them. You could sell them as a Titan class, but it's a 2-pack of two, between leader and commander size figures that that can combine into their own robot mode, where Overload becomes the torso instead of Optimus Prime. That way you can justify them as a combined package, and they can still be big enough to go along with Armada Prime.
Yes, that is one Titan class release I would buy full price.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the only one, but
but Hasbro won't do it, probably.
Yeah, it's because they hate money.
Hasbro loves money. They just don't know how to get it.
This is true.
Yeah, it's I know it. I know, to outside viewers, it comes off as a bit pretentious, but I keep hearing all these ideas from fans that it's just why don't Hasbro take advantage of these? It's I mean, between all the missed redeco opportunities, although it could be that they just don't want to play all their cards at once, and then the thing you mentioned about Jetfire and Overload being a 2-pack, I say they should just go for it.
I don't know. We'll see if any Hasbro designers are watching the Chugcratic seminar, and if so, take note.
That'll be put on their blacklist, one or the other.
As it turns out of all 4 of us, we have all picked for our second favorite purchase some variation of an Optimus Prime design. But yours,
Well-
Runestone, I understand, is a little more removed than the rest of ours.
Well, yes, it's not an Optimus, but it's a Prime. Legacy Evolution Leo Prime. I was actually thinking on whether to put either him or Tarn in this slot, but the Beast Wars nut in me just couldn't resist. Anyway, so yeah, they've been like touching on the Japanese Beast Wars cast here and there. And this isn't even the first modern Lio Convoy toy we've gotten. I think that would be the Robot Masters, but it feels
Also,
like
the Titans Return repaint.
yeah, but I mean like Robot Masters came long before that, and also the Leo Breaker redeco as well in Universe 2008.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yes.
There's also
And
a
also
Legends class
classics,
version of that.
Legends class.
Yes.
I had
Yes.
that
I have
one
that
as a
one.
Yes.
kid.
I have
But,
that one now.
Mine broke. Very sad.
But this honestly,
Skill issue.
this honestly feels like they're making more of a conscious effort to update the Beast Wars second cast, like between him and Tasmania Kid. Hopefully, we'll see the rest of the crew down the line. The figure itself, I just generally feel is well executed. The Beast Mode takes the Kingdom approach of looking more realistic, even if that face looks a bit uncanny, especially with the dead yellow eyes. The Robot Mode, spot on Lio Convoy. With and the design itself, I just really like in general with the whole lion head on one of his shoulders. This figure manages to work in some of the gimmicks associated with the character. They're not spring loaded, but they're still present in some way, shape, or form. You have the deployable claws from the lion's forelegs. The bits of the mane flip forward to allow you to plug in his accessories, so you could create the Lio missile. Unfortunately, no Lio Typhoon because it doesn't spin, but also the blasters are compatible with effects parts, and the blasters, by the way, can all store cleanly inside of the Lion mode. Like hidden weapon storage is kind of a rarity. It seems to be kind of a rarity these days among modern figures. I believe
Especially among beast figures.
I know. And also the chest. Well, I mean, at least the right-hand chest panel opens up, revealing his Energon matrix, which, if I'm not mistaken, that is also effects parts compatible. And I didn't include the picture of this, but I guess you could also call it a tie between that and the Nemesis Leo Prime they did later on that year, which I have, which ironically looks more alive than this one because its eyes are actually painted, or it actually has.
Yeah, it appears they actually took the criticism on that one.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, the Nemesis Leo Prime is actually the first toy of Black Lio Convoy, Copy Convoy, whatever you want to call it. That is the first to be actually accurate to the animation in terms of its deco, and that version also comes with a maximal Buster gun, which is of course which is also compatible with the new Tasmania Kid, I believe. Well, Tasmania Kid can wield it anyway. I'm trying to think what else to say. I mean, the Buster gun can't store in line mode like the other weapons can, unfortunately. But it's still nice that we got Copy Convoy, and we might even get a Nemesis Kid because most of the Maximals were cloned in that episode of Beast Wars Second.
Imagine if they make all of the Beast Wars second cast and just make like a copy crew.
Yeah, a copy boxer. I was just about to say that.
I mean, they could, with the possible exception of Diver, because Diver was the only one in that episode that wasn't cloned, although that probably wouldn't stop them redecorating him anyway. Or maybe we get And maybe we get a spittle. Who knows? But anyway, I think I've done talking about Leo Prime. All I can really say at this point is that I look forward to any future Japanese Beast Wars characters I can get in my future, if you know what I mean.
Yes. You know what Hasbro would do? They would put Diver in the Copy Crew multi-pack, and that's the only way you can get him.
Oh, God.
Oh, fucking hell.
Talk about a monkey's paw.
Oh, they would. They would. They would.
Anyway, moving on to my favorite purchase of 2023. It is Galaxy Force Exilion Red version. The two pictures in the background are not mine, but the one in the middle is. This is a limited to 500 pieces redeco of Galaxy Force Exilion, who we know as Hotshot, colored in Hot Rod colors. And it's just a straight up redeco. Nothing changes in terms of where paint apps are put. It's just the colors of the plastic and the colors of the paint are just switched. And it went on to also influence an American repaint of Hotshot that was mass released named Exelion. But they are two different things. A buddy of mine in Israel hooked me up with an auction to buy this thing, and I got it for less than $100, and I am so pleased. It is probably by far the rarest figure in my collection, but it just makes me want to get the other exclusive repaints from Galaxy Force. It's just so, it tickles me so just to have this in my house.
It's definitely a curio.
Absolutely. But I'm a very play with your toys kind of guy, so I just have them displayed with the rest of my Unicron trilogy stuff.
Based in toy build.
Yes. Even if I had mass production Noise Maze, I would still just pop him on the shelf like everyone else. He belongs there.
Well, there might be a way around that, Kit. You do know that they're doing a new Cybertron Hotshot for Legacy, right?
Yes.
Well, what do you think they could redeco that one into? That might not be limited to 500 pieces.
Well, if they do that redeco, they'd probably stick with the American version because it's different. It has flames and everything. Whereas this one is just Hotshot but red. I would like to see an Exelion repaint of Legacy Hotshot if that ever comes to fruition. But at the same time, I'd just like to get my own vintage Exelion.
I will say I like this model a lot. I got it at TF Nation this year. It's a really nice toy. I actually got two. I got Exelion and I got Sideways. And
very, very based. I will say that I was very unkind to my Hotshot growing up. I still have it, but he's in dire condition by my standards. So I'm probably going to end up replacing that one with another copy eventually. But this one is my really only acceptable version of this mold that I own.
Same, but mine was Earth Defense Force version. Or Cybertron Defense Force.
I need that one too.
It's a nice figure. It's just, I lost all of the bits that you could lose, except for the sword. I'm like, oh. I was 4 years old. I'll give myself a pass.
Yeah, I would give you. I wouldn't be so hard on yourself too.
But I would like to get another version of that mold eventually, because it's a very nice figure.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
I've never experienced this mold, and if there's one version of it I do want to get, it would be the Shattered Glass Goldbug.
Oh yes, that version of the mold absolutely sings in that.
It really does. It really does. I don't. And it's like what's annoying is that the modern Shattered Glass Goldbug, the one that's a redeco of Earthrise Cliff Jumper. That's the one you always see if you look for listings online. And it's like that one isn't nearly as good, like design-wise.
Yeah, it's just not. It's just not as characterful as the old one.
Exactly.
I'm hoping, like, they're probably not going to do it, but I'm hoping that with the new Legacy Cybertron Hotshot, they will redeco or retool that into a new Shattered Glass Goldbug, because there's no if they have to like release those figures based on what fiction is out at the time, you know, the new Shattered Glass collection doesn't have fiction backing it anymore since IDW lost the license, and I don't necessarily see Skybound picking it up anytime soon. So, you know, give him another shot. That's what I say.
Honestly,
I wholeheartedly agree. If they repainted Legacy Hotshot into Goldbug, I would at least give it a look. You know,
this is assuming that Legacy Hotshot is going to be good, though, which is a guarantee.
Yeah. But as for cool redecos of this mold, we shouldn't forget movie Getaway either. That looks
movie Breakaway. Yeah, it does. That's one of the ones I own, and it's very nice.
That's Breakaway, isn't it?
Yes, Breakaway.
Yes, but we all know who he's supposed to be. Yeah, that's about it for Exilion Red version. Very, very cool, very rare, very nice.
Yes.
Moving on to ID Arms top pick, we're going monkey mode with Takara. I don't really know what to call this Optimus Prime. Primal. It's basically just like, what if Rise of the Beasts had the original Optimus Primal mold? And I have to say, I don't know a whole lot about this figure. I haven't seen much of it, but everything I have seen makes it look damn cool. And I've seen a lot of people sing high praises for this mold, so I'm not very surprised that ID Arm put it at the top of his list.
I would like this mold more if I actually gave a damn about that design.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It is one of the coolest takes on the Optimus Primal design from Rise of the Beast. It's very black instead of dull gunmetal silver gray, which I appreciate at least.
Yeah, but that design to begin with is very nothingy in my opinion. So it's like, you worked with what you had, but like what you had wasn't much.
Still, I think it's really cool to see the hot newest live action design of Optimus Primal gets sort of forced back about 30 years and made to fit all the play features, or at least most of them, from the original toy.
I would say it's more like if Rise of the Beasts had a 2007 style leader class figure.
Ooh, that's a good shout. That is a good shout.
Like I could imagine this figure is to ROTB Optimus Primal as leader class Optimus Prime was to ROTF Optimus Prime. You know what I mean?
I think it's more of a 2007 take on it, just because it has all these gimmicks. Because 2007 Optimus had the automorph, he had the voice box, he had the flip out gun with a firing missile. But I mean, then again, Revenge of the Fallen Prime had the voice box, the Mech Alive, and the swinging swords, and also a sound box. So, apples to apples, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Though I will say, you know, a lot of people like bring this up, but like, 07 Optimus Prime really did feel like a UT toy in like Michael Bay skin almost.
That's a good way to describe it. It's a very weird figure, very kibbly, very, very kibbly.
It was actually a toy I had as a kid as well.
I only got it this year as well. I probably should have put it in my honorable mentions, but I guess I just sort of forgot about it. but it's very foreign to someone like me who's very used to the Revenge of the Fallen design ethic, you know?
It's interesting because it's like I owned both as a kid, and like it's weird because when I got ROTF Optimus Prime, it's like, yeah, it's way more accurate. But when I had that as a kid, I was honestly intimidated to transform it. Like, I just left it in robot mode 99% of the time because it was like, do I really want to set aside like an entire afternoon to transform it and not even figure it out?
Are we talking about Revenge of the Fallen here?
Yeah, Revenge of the Fallen.
Man, I remember the day I got that figure and I was blown away by it. Of course, I think I had already seen Vangelis's review on it, so I sort of knew what to expect. I definitely saw POs at that point. And I remember just being blown away transforming it. And I was able to do it like right away again. I felt pretty clever.
It was a really impressive figure. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a reason that every MPM Optimus Prime to this day still basically has the same engineering as ROTF Optimus Prime. It was just that good. They didn't need to do it again. It's like a fucking crocodile.
Runestone, if you were able to speak right now, this figure seems like it would be up your alley. What do you think about it? This Optimus Primal.
Just remind me again. Which version of Optimus Primal is this?
This is the vaguely liter-sized Takara Tomy exclusive Optimus Primal. I don't really know
how
what
much.
it's called,
how much does it cost again?
I want to say like $60, something like that. I don't really know. It's about liter. Maybe a bit bigger.
I mean, I certainly see what you mean about working in the vintage gimmicks of the original toy, because it's got the twin swords, it's got the shoulder missiles, it's got the arm cannons, both arms. All it's really missing is the mace.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to get the Studio Series version first, but like if I see this at this year's TF Nation, if hopefully I manage to get to that, this may be a pickup. Who knows?
Nice.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, the only Rise of the Beast toy Optimus Primal that is I have is of like the core series Voyager class figure, and that's a fine. It's a pretty nice figure for what it is.
That's another figure on my list. I've only seen it once, and I couldn't afford it when I did.
One last thing I want to say is that this has made me think is I really wish I put Beast Wars Optimus Primal, the original one, on my honorable mentions, because I got that this year or last year. It was really good. It's just a really nice figure.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I'd really like to point out that this is the first time we've seen firing missiles in a long time.
Oh, those missiles fire?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're spring-loaded.
That's a massive novelty these days.
Yeah, I think the cannons might also be spring-loaded, but don't take my word on that. All right, I think our random chimp event has exhausted itself, so we're just down to the last two favorites, starting with you, Shar.
Okay.
Oh, and this one has a story attached to it. I already know.
A little bit of a story. Shall I? Yeah. So, shall I tell that story now, or when we do the questions?
We don't have any questions.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so I'll start off just. This figure is really nice. This figure is just. It's Unicron trilogy in like its most it's Unicron trilogy in its most distilled form. It's massive, it's solid, it's fun, it has barely any articulation compared to what we expect these days. but it's just fun. It's just such a nice figure to just screw around with, to transform. You know, the absolute cacophony that comes from the ratchets is amazing. And it has like a bunch of gimmicks. It has it's packed with gimmicks that I really appreciate. My favorite of which being the deck elevator for Ramjet.
Yes, that's by far my favorite gimmick too.
It's just such a cool thing. And yeah, it's just, I really like it. I wanted to buy this figure when Legacy Tidal Wave was revealed. Mainly because I was disappointed that it didn't come with Ramjet and it wasn't going to do the Ramjet gimmick. I've made my peace with that at this point, but still, this has got to be one of my most standout picks of this year. And maybe it's recency bias, but I don't care. This is the most Archer-pilled toy that has ever existed.
Yeah, I have to agree. I have the Energon version of this mold. I got it, I want to say, last year, and it blew me away. The gimmicks are all really fun. I'm just missing the missiles, but I can live with that. All three vehicles have something to do, and I really appreciate that. Like, they're all super fun in their own way.
Yeah.
This toy is just built to be fun in every single mode. It
really is.
It is the triumph of the Armada line.
It's such a breath of fresh air, especially when like everything or like so much of what we get these days is so collector focused. And this is so obviously meant to be a fun toy, first and foremost.
Absolutely.
They didn't even know people were going to collect this. Well, they probably did, but they weren't even thinking about it when they designed it.
Yes.
And ironically, that is what makes it so collectible. Does anyone else have any thoughts?
I just, you know, from everything that's been described, I'm just shocked that to this day I haven't been able to get a hold of one version of the mold. This is a definite TF Nation pickup for me this year if I can find it complete.
I haven't seen one at the table in the last couple of years, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to find it there at the toy food table. But maybe you'll see one. But speaking of acquiring this figure, shall I go into the story?
Yes.
The story behind this figure.
Please do. This was a shit show when you were describing it.
Okay, so basically what happened was I bought this figure off eBay, as one does, and I found it for quite a reasonable price. About £60 sterling. It was complete besides the little wings, but that's fine. I can 3D print the little wings on the legs myself. And then it arrived. And when it arrived, what had happened was that all of the areas where it's supposed to separate into the Dark Fleet were glued together. Not only this, but the flaps for the flaps on the Dark Carrier, where they open up to reveal the little seats, were glued together, and the small flaps on the front that allow the legs or the little feet to have clearance to open up into the feet were glued in the open position. Now, as you can imagine, this was very frustrating. And I tried to fix this on my own at first. I have a whole workshop to deal with this sort of stuff. I initially tried to get rid of the glue with super glue debonder, and it sort of worked, but there was just so much glue on the legs that like parts were just like stuck, so thoroughly stuck that with the amount of like solvent that I would need to remove the glue, I would basically melt the parts. So of course I go onto eBay and I ask for a refund, like one would. And I end up getting into this whole argument because this person wasn't willing to say that there had been some sort of mistake, that they had made some sort of mistake, until we eventually sort of came to this understanding that what had happened was something had happened to it to completely change its condition in shipping. And here's my theory. Here's my theory of what happened. My Sherlock's deduction of what happened with this figure and the reason it arrived in such a state compared to the listing. So the shipping company that the person used is apparently quite notorious for people treating the packages quite poorly. And so what I suspect happened was this figure was dropped at some point in shipping, and the person who dropped it saw that the figure broke into 3 distinct pieces when it fell on the floor. Because of course, it falls onto the floor, the parts where it's supposed to come apart would be the parts where it comes apart due to, the kinetic force being exerted on the toy. But this person doesn't know anything about Transformers. This person might not have even been born when the figure came out, considering it's like 20 years old now. So they don't know. They believe that they have just broken this figure that they were paid to transport to my domicile. And so what they think they will do to save their job and not get fired is they glue the figure together. They glue the figure together, thinking that they're very clever and have saved their job. This is not the case. This person was an idiot for gluing this figure together. And I am very angry about it because the areas that they glued were the connection to the legs, to the torso, and the arms to the torso, and like I said, the areas on the Dark Fleet and the areas on the Dark Carrier where it opens up. I was able to get the glue off on the torso and the arms, so they were fine. But the Dark Fleet was so bad that I ended up having to buy the Dark Carrier was so bad that I ended up having to buy a new set of legs for this figure. And the new set of legs didn't include the wings, so I had to end up 3D printing the wings anyway. So yeah, getting this figure was an absolute. I earned this figure. That's all I'm going to say. I earned this figure.
You did. It sounds like, holy shit. How did you figure out that it wasn't the seller who did it? Like, because I know they denied it, but how did you come to believe that they were telling the truth?
Because like the first thing they mentioned was that like the first thing I meant. So well, there were a couple things. The first thing was they said was like, how did the package arrive to you in that condition? Like, what was the package? And without me like showing them the package, they described that like the package should be XYZ, and it wasn't that way. So clearly something had happened between them sending it to me and me receiving it.
Interesting.
The other reason was it was simply more convenient to just believe them because they were willing to like give me the refund and claim from the shipping company. So in the end, everyone gets their money back.
Yeah.
But like honestly, I do believe them at this point because like the way the shipping company, like the description they gave, like the description they gave was very accurate to what I would suspect without me like showing them anything, you know.
Yeah,
Like the stories matched up.
gotcha.
So I was like, you know what, I'll give it to you.
Gotcha. Holy shit, what a wild ride.
Honestly. But
I think it might have helped if each component was properly bubble wrapped and sellotaped up.
that too, probably. If it was shipped as the Dark Fleet instead of in robot mode, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. Because maybe they would have seen 3 ships fall out of a box instead of bits of a robot. But oh well.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, at least all's well that ends well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I basically ended up getting this figure for like much less than I initially expected to pay for it, because I got the refund and I ended up only paying for the legs.
So you got 2/3 of a tidal wave for free.
Basically. I got it for the cost of like two afternoons worth of arguing.
Oh yeah, that too.
But oh well. We'll call it free.
What an amazing story. Well, that just leaves only one top favorite purchase, and that's Runestone. You ready?
Ray, my favorite purchase is none other than the Shattered Glass Rodimus and Sideswipe 2-pack. I love this set, plain and simple. Starting with Rodimus, admittedly, I think the hype surrounding the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod mold has died down a bit, but I still really like it for how it generally manages to capture the look of the character from the movie fairly cleanly in both modes. All it's really missing are those thrusters at the back of the car mode, but beyond that, I think it works really well. And also, there are some minor QC issues with, I think it's the arms not really meshing in as well as they could, but beyond that, I just generally like the mold. And in Shattered Glass Rodimus's colors, I personally think it looks even better. The black, the metallic grays, the silver, the purple flames with the white outline, the red accents. I just think it works so well for this mold. And of course, it comes with all of the original accessories, the twin blasters, the pizza cutter, haha, original comment, the effects parts, which again done in translucent red, accentuate the figure really nicely. It still has the flip out visor gimmick. It's got some really nice posability, except with I guess some limitations in the shoulders. But beyond that, I think it's a really nice figure. And then we get to what is, in my opinion, the true star of the set, Sideswipe. Context time! So, the original BotCon Shattered Glass Sideswipe figure was a redeco of Armada Wheeljack. And the SG Sideswipe deco is based on a cancelled universe figure, Drench. Admittedly, I'm not big on Shattered Glass Sideswipe's color scheme, but this is still nonetheless a successful recreation of that color scheme. And obviously, this is a mirror universe version of G1 Sideswipe, except since the original was a redeco of Armada Wheeljack, he is depicted as having defected to the Decepticons. And I do think that puts a nice, interesting twist to the Shattered Glass universe, even if they don't really do much with it story-wise. And this new SG Sideswipe is a heavy retool of the Siege/Kingdom Sideswipe mold, and they did so much more than they had any right to. I think they retooled the hood, the doors, the head sculpt. They included the twin clubs that SG Sideswipe comes with. And the best part, he comes with his minicon, Whisper, or as I believe it's pronounced, Visper. That figure apparently actually recycles or reuses parts from Siege Stormcloud and Visper. But it's a really nice looking minicon that manages to improve upon the original Whisper/Wind Shear design. It's got more articulation. It's got a really nice stealth bomber mode. And with all the changes that have been made to this one, you just know who they're going to redeco this figure into in the near future.
Oh, I really hope so.
And with that, for now, I don't have anything else to add. So, what do you all guys think?
I agree. This set was fan-fucking-tastic when I got it. I really like Rodimus. I honestly prefer this version over the Studio Series version, just because the colors are a lot nicer, and he just has his own really good aesthetic to him. And honestly, Sideswipe is so interesting and so cool that I could have, if I were inclined to put this on my list, he would have been an entry all on his own. He's my favorite version of this mold, maybe, besides maybe Kingdom Sideswipe himself. And it's just amazing to see an actually good minicon once again.
It's amazing to see a new minicon, period.
Honestly. I wonder if they do the redeco, are they going to include Wind Shear?
They fucking better.
Can you imagine, though, if they're like, no, we're it's a regular release, and we've set this precedent now that regular release Armada figures don't get minicons for some reason.
Please understand the budget.
Please understand the budget.
They've got to at the very least they've got to include. I mean, I know this might not be desirable, but they're probably going to include all the missing minicons in their own pack, some sort of select pack or something. I mean, at least it'll be a way of acquiring the minicons, but yeah.
We'll see. I wonder if they're waiting to fill out the rest of the Armada cast more before doing that.
It'll be a PulseCon exclusive.
Oh god.
I mean, all I can say is it is kind of cool, or it is kind of smart in a way for them to hold off on doing Sideswipe, because the Shatterglass collection has been going on for a few years now, and it would have been so easy just for them to simply redeco either Siege or Kingdom Sideswipe. I mean, especially since in IDW Shatterglass comics, Sideswipe in that universe, he's only in it for one panel and he's dead without having defected to the Decepticons. So, by all accounts, I was just expecting them to redeco one of those other versions, but they went the extra mile with this one, and I could not be more happier for it. I think we even said in the first, the opening of the very first seminar kit that with your recent purchase, Sideswipe, SG Sideswipe, that's the coolest version of the mold, and I'm with you all the way on that one.
Man, did I really get that just before the first seminar? It feels like it hasn't been that long since we did it. Holy crap. But yeah, he is the coolest version of the mold. I didn't keep up with the Shatterglass fiction as it was coming out, so I didn't really care. I've only been keeping up with the toy line, and only to get the coolest releases, which this one is definitely one of. Yeah. I think that counts as a wrap on our top purchases of 2023.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from either of you?
Uh, I kind of wish I'd said something about animated Soundwave now, but I can't remember if I got him this year or last year, or rather last year or the year before. But yeah, that was a childhood pickup because I remember I got that for someone else's birthday when I was a kid, and I was like, damn, I wish I bought that for myself.
That's how I felt about Cybertron Clocker. But yeah, this honestly this year in terms of collecting, I can't say it was particularly stellar. I didn't get that many great figures. It's really just what my top 3 plus a couple honorable mentions that I probably haven't mentioned, like movie The Best Starscream. I like that one. I got Legacy Metroplex for cheap, half off. I also got the vintage Cybertron Metroplex for about the same price. But yeah, I'm hoping to make 2024 a much more interesting year in terms of the figures that I get. Another honorable mention I probably should have mentioned. I got G1 Erector.
Funny. Same as last year. I'm probably going to focus on back collecting mostly. Because just not much is getting released this year that particularly entices me. We'll see what third party does. If Mechanical Skull Studio does anything more, I'll be very interested. But we haven't seen anything from them yet.
Yes. I do have a few things to look forward to this year. Legacy Magmatron, Missing Link Optimus Prime, Mastermind Creations Hotspot, whatever the hell else MSS end up doing in the future. It's gonna be a much better year, but probably a lot more predictable of a list.
Yeah. I mean, man, like I said, you know what I really hope? I really hope what's his name? I really hope Spino's toys get further this year. I really hope we get more releases from Trojan Horse Studios, because they did that Waspinator.
Oh yes, that thing.
And then like they teased a Dinobot from the same vehicle that Bone Crusher was. And I really wanted that, but we haven't seen anything from it for a long time, and we haven't seen any like other releases from them. So it's
let them cook. Let them cook.
I hope they're still going. I hope that they're still making things. That they're still intending on doing more releases, because I would be very interested in more designs from Spino. And it's a bit frustrating that like the first design they did also happened to be the one design I was kind of lukewarm on when it comes to like purely from a design perspective, because like I like Waspinator, but I don't like Waspinator enough to get like an MP sized figure of him, you know?
Yeah.
Richard,
what are you looking forward to in terms of collecting? Any goals, any resolutions?
It's difficult to say. I mean, I kind of dropped a few in that I want to pick up one version of at least one version of the Armada tidal wave mold sometime. But I mean, in terms of like new figures being released, I guess I'm just being selective where I can. I mean, the Beast Wars figures I'm picking up in a heartbeat, no question about that. And I do want to thank TF Nation for providing me with a chance to get a few more Japanese Beast Wars products. If you want to know, I picked up Bump, Hydra, a 2-pack of Power Hug and Auto Crusher, and Randy in his box. And he's never leaving it.
Randy.
Smash him with a hammer.
Yeah. By
Crush
the way,
it in your hand.
By the way, for those like listening in there expecting me to like do a proper review out of the box, yeah, if you just you don't need me to demonstrate what that figure is capable of, we'll say, because there are plenty of videos that show it off already. I like having my toys intact. Thank you very much. But it's gonna be like an interesting talking point when I get round to discussing that one. Oh, and I also, and in terms of the Beast Wars cast, I also picked up Bighorn.
Nice.
In terms of, I just want to say, like, in terms of the stream, meanwhile, I've had fun as always, but it is a shame that unfortunately ID Armed couldn't stay with us all the way, and it was also annoying that well, my internet was causing me some trouble tonight. I've heard of college dropouts, but this is ridiculous. See, there's your quote for the next podcast, Kit.
Oh.
Gosh.
I mean, I could just be a devilish little gremlin and clip out the parts where you say the words "nut in me" back to back.
Oh boy.
Well, that looks like it's a wrap on today's stream. Not sure you introduced us. I'd say you play us out.
Well, from the entire School of Chugcratic, I'd just like to say, have a happy new year, or rather, have a happy another 11 months of it.
The term starts Monday. Be there 8:00.
Yep. Your homework for this month, I want a 10,000 word essay on the importance of manifold models and why you need to use Boolean modifiers. Please.
And for all the Beast Wars fans out there, I have only one thing to say. I want a retool of Rhinox into a hippopotamus transformer on my desk yesterday.
He will fail you if it's not good enough.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take some night courses in ID's class to get the sculpting on point.
I will say, like, I just want to get this in there real quickly as well. I guess happy 40th anniversary to the Transformers franchise as a whole.
Oh God, is it 40? Is it 40 already?
Yeah, I remembered the 25th like it was yesterday.
God. Oh boy. Did it really start that close to the beginning of the year though?
Oh no, it was around May, I think. But who cares?
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been the 5th episode of the Chugcratic Seminar. I feel like we're getting into a good swing of things. Really having fun with this. As always, the subject for the next episode will be a surprise, but we'll see you all again in February. This has been Kit Catastrophe, joined by Definitely Not Shar, Runestone, and allegedly by ID Armed. If he's listening to this, I'm just having fun. So yeah. See y'all around.
Take care until all are one.